This is Movietone. Leslie Mitchell reporting. The great story of the royal return to Britain opens in the English Channel, where Sunderlands flew out to salute and escort Britannia, which had been anchored for the night in St. Austell Bay. Then further up Channel, HMS Vanguard, with destroyers and frigates, nearly a score of ships of the home fleet, approached the royal yacht. A salute of 21 guns was fired. The cheering of the ship's companies was acknowledged by the Queen and the Duke from Britannia's bridge. Now Vanguard and the other ships took station to assume the escort duties which had been provided by the Mediterranean fleet all the way from Gibraltar. The picture that followed was certainly a most impressive one, as Britannia steamed her course with the great battleship and the destroyers in company. In the Solent now, where the new aircraft carrier Centaur and many other warships were lying. As Britannia steamed through the lines, more saluting, and another Royal Naval welcome home to Her Majesty and the Duke. Next day, hundreds of small craft were out in the Thames estuary to make their contribution to the memorable occasion. The Trinity House vessel Patricia had a number of distinguished elder brethren on board, including Mr. Attlee, and the Duke of Gloucester, master of Trinity House. Ships of the Nore Flotilla were at anchor here, and after receiving their salute, Britannia followed Patricia on the 50-mile journey to Westminster. The last 50 miles of a round-the-world tour of some 50,000 miles. All the way up the Thames, it goes without saying, a really great welcome was given to the royal travellers. It was indeed a triumphant return to the capital after so arduous a royal task so magnificently completed. Passing Greenwich now, where the Duke once attended a naval course. Incidentally, one of his titles is Baron Greenwich. Yes, the Thames journey was as gay and as joyous as ships, bunting, hooters and sirens could contrive. With the royal convoy nearing the Pool of London, the Lord Mayor, Admiral of the port, embarked on his way to offer the city's greeting to Her Majesty. As the Arethusa boys rowed him out, Britannia was seen approaching Tower Bridge, a not-to-be-forgotten picture this, and one that thrilled all the thousands who saw it. Meanwhile, on Tower Pier, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, waited with Princess Margaret to go out by launch to the royal yacht. Sir Winston Churchill, in Trinity House uniform, was on the bridge with the royal family. He'd gone aboard earlier in the Channel. The Queen Mother and the Princess made the short trip in the PLA launch Nore. Lord Waverley, Port of London Authority Chief, accompanied them. It's easy to imagine the happiness of the royal family reunion aboard Britannia. His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, was there to greet them affectionately as they stepped on deck. The voyage in the royal yacht was over, and now the last 2 miles of the journey home was to be made in the royal barge. The Queen and the Duke, with the Duke of Cornwall and Princess Anne, left for Westminster Pier, watched and cheered by the thousands lining the river. In contrast with many a royal progress on the Thames long ago, this was a very modern, streamlined procession, the royal barge and her patrol boat escort. Having gone ashore earlier, Sir Winston Churchill is seen arriving at Westminster to play his part in the official welcome. And here come the Queen and the Duke to set foot in Britain again after nearly 6 months away. A joyous, exciting and historic moment. The first greetings, of course, were those exchanged between members of the royal family themselves. Then the Queen and the Duke shook hands with Field Marshal Lord Alanbrooke, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Prime Minister, as well as many other distinguished people. Inspection of the Grenadiers forming the Guard of Honour followed. While this was going on, Prince Charles and Princess Anne waited with their grandmother and their aunt, looking forward probably to the drive and to getting home again. The state drive to the palace gave millions of her people the chance to express their really heartfelt welcome. All Britain knows how tirelessly and how brilliantly Her Majesty and the Duke attained the most important objects of the Commonwealth tour. All Britain, represented here by the vast London crowds, is not only delighted to have them home again after so long an absence, also we would wish to thank them for the great service they have rendered on behalf of us all. There was, of course, cheering the whole way to the palace. The return journey had been a wonderful climax to the tour, royally rounded off by London's tribute. The Queen, the Duke and their son enter the palace. Oh, well, I suppose I'd better catch up. The final scenes follow what has now become a tradition. Thousands upon thousands down below cheering, and on the palace balcony, the Queen and her family. Happy to be all together at home again, happy, we may be sure, in the knowledge of the true affection of us all, Her Majesty's loyal subjects.